turn red up here in our corner. Just to let you know, this time is not how long we've been recording, but what time the meeting first got entered. So over here we have our participants, and here is our conversation. So please feel free to post any questions that you have during the presentation, and we'll do our best to get to everyone throughout the presentation. I'll stop periodically, and we have a few moderators today that are going to help us out too, so we should do pretty good getting to everyone. Thanks for joining me. I know you've all had a long day, so I appreciate it. I think this is one of those applications by Microsoft that you're really going to love, and the more you use it, the more I think you're going to like it. So with nothing else, I'm going to get started with today's presentation. Thanks again for joining us. I'm going to turn off my camera right now just for ease of bandwidth. So today we're going to discuss Microsoft Forms. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. Here is my email address if you have any questions. Heather, I know, has been working with you all week. She's awesome. You can throw questions to her as well. This is my Twitter handle. I really like to keep up to date with Microsoft. They're always putting out new products, so feel free to follow me, and my LinkedIn information. I was an elementary school teacher for 10 years before becoming a Microsoft Learning Consultant, so I know how busy you all are this time of year, so I really appreciate you taking the time to come out and learn something new. So today what we're going to talk about are the Microsoft Forms. What are they? How to create a quiz, how to create a form. We'll look at there's some new templates coming out that I want to show you to keep your eye out for. We're going to look at how to share them once we create them. What do we do with them? We'll look at reviewing the results, and then we'll take some questions and answers. So Microsoft Forms are easy. You can create surveys, analyze that data. You can use it for polls, quizzes, invite people to respond. You have a lot of permissions in there, so we're going to look at that when you do invite people. We'll look at the analytics and evaluating the information once those forms are been complete. And how do you get started? So what you're going to need is we're going to start at office.com, and you're going to need your school email address. That is your Microsoft credential. So everything, if you're ever unsure, always go to office.com, and it's the perfect launching spot. So that's what we're going to do first. So I'm already logged into office.com. This is actually the new version that just came out last week. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. And now everything is kind of along the side for us, our launching. So if we launch from here, you'll see Forms. You want to look for that F, and that'll take us to our home screen for Forms. So when we get to Forms, we have some options. We can create a new form, or we can create a new quiz. I'm actually going to start with Forms today, and then we'll move to quizzes. So here we'll create a new form. When you do that, it'll launch this blank template for you. And I know I said I was going to show you some templates. So I want to point out up here, Microsoft does such a good job. Every product they have has help built into it. So you really don't have to go very far to look for help. So if we go over here, we go to help, and you can see what's new. And this is where you're going to see some of those new templates that are going to be coming out shortly. When I've been in preview mode, the templates are there. So I know they're getting really ready quickly to roll out for you. So they have a lot of new ones coming out. You can check those out. They're going to be surveys for parents and different ones for great communication skills, for communication between home and school. So keep an eye for those. Those will be rolling out shortly. Again, if you want more help with that, check under what's new. And then we're going to cover a lot of material today, so anytime you have a question, type it in here. It will give you the step-by-step of how to walk through and how to do something. So just know that's always available to you. And in the last slide of today's presentation, which will make available, they have whole websites, oh, wrong site here, dedicated to helping and learning. So they'll have training videos here. I've put this link in the resources in our last slide. So don't panic if you know we've given you a lot today. I've given you a lot of resources. So, all right, without further ado, we'll get started. So when you first log in and say you're going to create a new form, you're going to create a title. So let's say we want to create a question form about trees. Just pick something simple. You can add a description here. If you wanted to add an image, I think the easiest way to do it is we're going to click that image button, and then you can actually just do an internet search. And what's nice is if you see down here you have this check mark, it will only show you Creative Commons. So that way you do not have to worry about copyright laws. You are covered. So I can just pick the image of my choice, click Add, and now I have an image to go into my form. Very simple, and I love that ease. We're going to look at our different questions now. So you have a lot of options. So we're going to click that plus sign to add a new one. You have choice, which is multiple choice, text, rating, date, and then there's even more over here. So let's take a look at those. So in a form, it will be set up the same for each question. You will have the ability to copy, to delete. You can move the question up or down, and that'll be available in every question you create. So here's where you would type your question. Do you like trees? We're keeping it simple. And now what I love is it gives you suggestions. So you can say add all, and it's going to do that for you. You can add other options. You can add other. And then here's where if you want to add more options, you can do that too. Now I want to show you over here, if you don't like something, if you scroll up and down, you can delete it. You can allow them to choose more than one by clicking multiple answers. And if you want it to be required for the fact that they cannot submit the form, then I would click this. One of the benefits to doing the required is students can't forget to submit an answer on a quiz, because we all know we teach the students to answer the easy ones first, go back and complete the ones that are harder. This way, it will not let them submit it unless everything's been complete. You have some more options here. You can shuffle your options. You can add a subtitle. Subtitles are great. So if we did that, a subtitle would let you add a passage if you needed to add an article to be read. It would let you add a description. So really gives you a little more in-depth feel. If you're seeing this G over here, that's my Grammarly. I have a Grammarly account, so it checks all my work. So that's what that is. That's not part of Microsoft. I'll just add let you know about that. And I want to talk about branching for a minute. If we bounce back to our PowerPoint, I put together some information about creating branching. So there's a couple different ways that you can create branching. So you can use it for if a student has an incorrect answer, or if you want to lead them to more practice and trying again. You can also use it for small groups or center rotations. There's a lot of uses. And so what it does is when you create a question, you can branch them out into 3 different options. So if they choose A and you have it listed as incorrect, it can send them to another question and then even back to question 1. Or if they choose the correct answer, they can move to question number 2. So it really gives you control and guidance and a way to help guide the students to a better understanding and a better mastery of the material. So that's what branching does. You can have them move on to another question if they get it right, or you can send them back for more review and lead them through extra. So when you see branching, that's what it's referring to. And if you added branching, then you would have the choices of where do you want them to go next. Do you want them to go to another question? Do you want them to go to the end of the form? Those would be your options. So you would click here, where you want them to go. If we add another question, let's add a text question this time. What is your favorite tree? I could type, right? So this time it's not a cut and dry. They're going to need to give a response. So again, you have that subtitle. You can offer a little more information, and then they can do, this would be a short answer. Here you could engage a long answer, offer to be required, and then you have still your more settings. Now restrictions, what restrictions do are, if you click, let me click that to show you. Restrictions allows you to set restrictions when you need to have numbers as an answer. And then when you click the restrictions, you can choose to restrict the number by selecting from various options like greater than, less than, between. So it's a bit of a guidance in how you would like that answer completed. If you go to rating, you can choose a rating. You can adjust the amount of stars up to 10, and then you also can choose whether you want numbers. Date, it will generate a calendar as an answer. So they can go in here and choose a calendar formatting for that. If we go here to our lips, you have ranking. So you can choose a ranking of how, first, second, third choice, or maybe putting it towards a timeline. This is the Likert. It's used for gauging attitudes. We've all filled those out on surveys. You can upload. The Net Promoter is how likely you're going to do something. So this form, it really helps you gather a lot of information. And then I just want to make sure, and then adding sections gives you control and helps you to group things. So it adds a layer of organization within your form. If we look over here at, if we go back to, I'm going to shuffle this so you can see. I'm going to show you how to do, I want to select shuffle. So if we go into preview and we see maybe is first, then no, and oh, it shifted already for us. So if we go back, I click preview again, it's going to generate a different one. And then we have mobile. It'll show you what it'll look like if someone's using their mobile phone. That's what it's going to look like if they have their desktop. If you want to add themes, you have some options here. I did see in preview they're coming out with some new ones. They're a little more photograph looking. They're not the hand-drawn, the drawn images. So keep an eye out. Those are coming. If you go into settings, here's where you get a lot of the permissions. So you can have anyone with the link can respond. Oh, hello, making me log in because I have been there a while. Let me go back. If we go in here to settings, which I would always recommend you do before sharing this out, you can have anyone respond only within your organization. If you want them to record their name, you need to click that, and only one response per person. If you do not have record name, they can answer anonymously. So then here is where you have more. Right now, if you unselect that, it locks your form so it stays hidden and no one can access it. Once you're accepting responses, you can put a start date, an end date, and you can even control times. So if you want to say that this form is going to be available from 3 to 5 on the 18th at 5 o'clock, it'll lock down and stop accepting responses. You can shuffle your questions. This only works if you have one section. If you create a form with multiple sections, that shuffling will not work here. You can shuffle within the sections and shuffle within the questions, but you can't do an overall shuffle for the entire form. Then you can customize the response. If you do not customize it, they will just get a message saying your response was submitted. Then you can find notifications, and you can decide whether they're going to get an email receipt to the respondent, or if you would like to be notified every time someone turns something in, you can have that turned on as well. When it comes to sharing, you have several options. Oh, I want to make sure multilingual. I didn't go over that part. What the multilingual does is it does not change the text I entered, but it will change the template part of the forms. For example, let's add a language, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So if we go in here, let's choose Filipino. If I go into preview, here I am in English. If I choose to switch to Filipino, it's going to see the parts that were generated as part of the template for the form. That's what gets changed. It's not any of the individual text that I incorporated. It's more the template and the things that are Microsoft has generated for this. So now the beautiful part is you have Immersive Reader built in here. If you are not familiar with Immersive Reader, definitely take a moment. This is amazing. But I want to give you the caveat with Immersive Reader. We're going to just click that and I'm going to show you what happens. So it opens up the Immersive Reader window. When you're in here, you have all the classic features of Immersive Reader. You know what? I want to go back and put us back into the English version just for the sake of ease and making this simple. So you'll see here we're in the, you have your classic where it will just read to them.
Do you like trees? Maybe. No. Yes. End of question. Close the reader to input your answer.
So what I want to point out in here especially, and you want to make sure students and those using your forms are aware of this, you cannot answer the question in Immersive Reader. It will direct you, like it did at the bottom, to go back and answer the form. But you do have all that capability of changing. Here are your fonts that these three are recognized by the Dyslexia Association. Sitka was especially developed for Immersive Reader by Microsoft. You have your Erlang colors, which have shown to greatly improve comprehension accuracy. Even 12 to 14% of gifted readers enjoy these. They help to decrease eye fatigue, clarity, and make for ease of reading. Here you have your parts of speech, and you also can break words into syllables. Then this is where you can have that access to translation. So if someone needs that, I was just looking for Filipino because we had that selected before, they can choose it by word and have that picture dictionary of trees and have it in their two languages, or they can translate the entire document. So this is where you're going to get that text translation, is in the Immersive Reader, where when you are in that multilingual, you're just going to get that template part that will be changed. So I just wanted to clarify that. If we go back here, then we can go into sharing now that we have all of our settings. Here you can have only respond in your organization. You can copy and send this link out. You have QR codes, you can embed, you can email. If you know that this is something you're going to use again, you can share it as a template. And then if it's something that you want several people to work on and collaborate, then you're going to want to send out this link. So you have some options within here. You can send it out to anyone with the link can respond, or only in your organization. So I'm going to pause That is forms in a little bit of a nutshell. What I want to do is I'm going to we'll take a little small break, but I have a form for you and I'm going to show you. So now I created this form for you guys. It's a form, it's very small. I almost can consider it a poll. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it so that anyone can respond to this link. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to put it in our team for you. If you would, I'm going to show you a little presenting trick that you can do. If you would be so gracious as to log in and complete that form. When I present in desktop, one of the really neat things that I can do is I can go back here to responses. And when I'm presenting in desktop, you'll see my whole desktop is available. As people start completing the form, we can watch in real time responses. So hopefully a couple people will do that for me and be good sports and log into the form. I'm going to refresh this. Sometimes you just need that to happen. Look, we've already gotten 7 responses. And average time to complete 3 seconds. So we can start saying and view our results. So it looks like beach is a big popular one. We got some more responses. So this might be something fun to include in your team meetings and just keep everyone engaged and see that results in real time. So again, I just copied the link, put it into the team meeting, and then when because I'm sharing under desktop and not window, I could go in here and we can see our results. So I greatly appreciate everyone doing that for me. Thank you so much. If for some reason you're not seeing the results, just refresh your window. Sometimes it just needs that little love. And then here we can take a little bit of a deeper dive. If you're looking at viewing results, this is when you go into responses, you're just going to get that general overall view of who responded. And I think we have a lot of beach lovers here. And then if I go into view results, I'm going to see it done by each person. So I can go through anonymous 1, anonymous 2 responded this way. And again, that's where the settings, if you want your students to put their name in, then you're going to know how each one of them responded. If we go back, we have yet another choice under more details, and you can see it where it's broken down by question. So this is question 1. If I had more questions, then you would see those results for the different questions. So you have 3 different ways to look at it. You get an overall picture, you get it by the person, and then you get it by the question. And then it's all able to be downloaded to Excel. So a lot of great options for how to view that data. Any question? I think we might have a couple questions. So I'm going to bot back. You can't hear anything. Oh no. All right. Let me go back in here, stop sharing. I'm going to
I can hear
reshare.
you just fine. I'm
You
wondering if they
can?
need to exit. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if they need to exit and maybe join back again.
Okay. Thank you.
Or they could also go to the ellipses at the top, or the 3 dots at the top of your screen, and click on that. If you go into device settings, there's, you may have your speaker or microphone turned down on your actual computer.
Yeah, I've been able to hear you just fine.
Okay, awesome. All right, I think we're good so far. So I think we'll switch over now and go look at our how to do quiz. So if we go in here and we click new quiz, you're going to see a lot of the options are the same with some differences. For example, we'll have the same title. I'm just, for the sake of ease, I'm going to put in trees again, make life easy. We could add another image. You're seeing my Grammarly hopping in there. Again, it looks very similar, but you're going to see it is different. So if we write, do you like trees? Again, it generates. We'll say add all. I love that. But now you see on the side, it's not just delete or get it, we have options. So if student chose this, I can respond with a message. Great. I love trees too. Or whatever your answer is. You can explain why that's the wrong answer. You can explain why it's the correct answer. And you can go and do that for each one of these so that when the student submits it, they can see those responses. And then you can choose the correct answer. We'll say yes is the correct answer, and these two are the wrong. Now, that's where too you have that branching option. Now here we have a couple more things. You can have multiple answers. I can say that's correct and that's correct. I can give a point value of 10 points. I can make sure this is required so that they don't skip it. I still have my options of copying, deleting, moving up or down. Then I also over here, we have some new options. I'm going to add a new question. This time I'm going to add text, and I'm going to say my question is 2 plus 5 equals, and that'll be the question. Now, if we go in here to math, now this gets a little above my pay grade, but you math people are probably going to really enjoy this. You're going to see this text box, A, B, C, show up, or I can click, if I click that, I also have 1, 2, 3. Now, to me, it seems reversed to me. And let me explain my thought. When I click 1, 2, 3, what that means is I'm typing my numbers on the keyboard. When I click A, B, C, because I have that math engaged, I use my mouse, and I have access to all these different symbols. So I could have 2x equals, 2x equals, I don't know, you all math people do better than I do. So, and then what it would do is it will actually generate, let's say 2x equals 5. And it will give you, you can add answers, you can put in here. That's probably not the right math. I probably have math people cringing right now, so I am so sorry. This is why I'm an elementary school teacher and not a middle school or math teacher. But you get the idea of how to access that and create it. Now, it will also give you suggestions, which I love. So had I, no wonder why I'm not getting suggestions. That's a crazy problem up there. Let's try that again. 2 plus, oh my goodness, plus, I have to hit the shift, 3 equals. Okay, so if I do that, press enter, then if you do, it will give you options for fake answers if you actually typed a math problem correctly. So just know, when you, I just want to repeat, just so, because when you get in there and you're using your algebra and your other, it will make sense to you, I promise. So you want to make sure math is engaged. You want the ABC button. That's what's going to give you the option to use your mouse to create your high math problems. And then if the 1, 2, 3 is engaged, that's where you're going to use your keyboard. So then you can generate your problem. So you also could change it here. If I did, let's just try it. I'll show you down here. It might 2 plus, I keep forgetting to do the plus. Sorry about that. 3 equals. Okay, so there's my math problem. And enter options, so then I can choose and create options down here, and then I can say it's 10 points. I could have multiple answers, your choice. So just want to point out that that is a little bit different, and where you can access those. So with text, if you're creating in English and you need to, I'm going to get out of math because it keeps looking for me to enter an equation now. So if you needed to include an article and you wanted to ask a question, have students read an article, enter that here in subtitle. And then it will give you a beautiful flow. And then you can create your answers. Now, just be aware, I think I said it earlier, but I just want to make sure I said it in case I didn't. Whether you have a long answer or a short answer, you will probably want to check those. Now, the nice part with a short answer, so if you put what is, let's just, with trees, where, what tree does maple syrup, well, we don't want to say maple, what tree does syrup for your pancakes come from? Okay, so you can enter answers here for short answers, and you can say that your answer, we're going to add an answer, is maple. Now, maybe your students do not spell the best, so you want to put some different spellings in, or you want, maybe there's a possibility of 2 answers for your short answer. If you want the computer to grade your short answers, then you want to put in as many of these possible correct answers. I would, just for sake, go over it yourself to be careful, because every once in a while the kids will put something in there that you didn't even think of. Now, long answers, you don't have that option. You will have to go in and correct them as you would with just a paper pencil. But short answers would give you these options to include as many possible variations that you could think of. So again, we have some, we can do text, we can do the ratings, we can do a date, what was the date of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. They could incorporate a date with that. Then we also have here ranking, Likert, file, same as earlier. You can see what it's going to look like with your preview. You can see Immersive Reader is built in here as well. And then you also can see the mobile or the computer, so you can see what your students are going to see. When you go back here, you have your themes. Then here in settings, this is especially in a quiz, you have some more options. So you can show the students the results automatically. So how we checked here what was the correct answer, and if you're going to put in those comments, when the students submit their results, they will get that. I just caution you with using that. If you're doing remote learning and you have a 2-hour time frame for students to take the quiz, be careful because you don't want someone to finish early and then share out the answers. So just a little caution with that one. I see some questions, so I'm going to bounce back before I get too far into this. Okay, we talked about the audio, tried to exit, still okay.
It's just
All
all
right.
about the audio.
All about the audio. All right.
Yep.
I get it. Sometimes it's just the computers are not with us that day. So just a little cautionary tale with that. You know your students, you know what works best for them, but I just wanted to put that out there. Anyone with the link can respond. Again, that's up to your discretion. Here's where I definitely would record the name. And then do you want them to be able to take the test multiple times? Again, your choice. Accepting responses. Here's where you can set those windows of when you want to start and end. Shuffling of questions, again, only if you have one section. If you have multiple sections, that will not work for you. Customizing your answer, you can send a great little message of encouragement maybe. This is kind of fun now to do this, especially when we're trying to make connections with the students. And then again, you have those email options. So sharing is similar, not much different than in the form. And then your feedback. If feedback is to Microsoft. If you're finding that there's a feature you would really love, use that feedback option. I want to make sure we have time. So like now we've created these forms, you've become masters at making quizzes. What do you do with them? So you've got a couple options, and I think there's some really cool ones. You saw how we could use that in a team meeting. You can also incorporate these into assignments in teams. So for example, I'm going to show you one that I already created here. So I created a Henry and Mudge test where I had the students, we're going to edit this so you could see what it looks like. So when you first create an assignment, you give it a title, give your directions, and then you can upload the form. Tell how many points it is, when do you want to do, by what time. So you can, and then you can post it in channels. If we just cancel that, I'm going to show you. So you can look at the student view. This is what they'll see. They'll see the launch, the link. You see immersive reader is built in here as well. And so what's really cool that Microsoft does is when you upload it to an assignment in Teams, it's actually a copy. And if we go back to our main window in here, you saw these are recent ones. This is what we just did. This is the one I sent out to you. Oh, no, I sent you guys a different one, but I think I just have to refresh this. Let me see if I refresh it. There we go. So you can see this is the one we just did, the trees we created. These are all the recent ones. Now, if we went in, it would under groups, and I don't know why my groups went away when I refreshed it, but let's see if I don't know why I did that. Shared with me, there's groups. Groups is any of the quizzes or forms that you upload to Teams are under groups. So what it did was when it created a team, here's that Henry and Mudge, and here we are, here's my groups. So when we uploaded the forms into the group, that created a copy and that's what went to the team. So your original is still here. And then it will be stored under groups. So you can access the one that was specific to your team under groups. And I don't know why that went away on us. I'm just going to see if I went back this way. Okay, just trust me, there should be a groups button here. So Teams is one way that you can incorporate and share these out with your students. Another really cool way that I like to share these with students is if you use Stream or record videos for your students. In Stream, if we click on this one and edit it, so you can set your different permissions, you can share it with your students, you can share it with anyone in your company. So you have those permissions in here. I'm going to cancel out of that, and we're going to go into Henry and Mudge. You don't need to hear me reading aloud to my first graders in the spring when I did remote learning. But if you go in here to the video, what you see over here, here's that transcript, and transcripts are awesome because you can type in, especially if you're doing something with, say, science terms, and someone wants to look up cells, and when you discuss cells in the video, they can use a transcript for that. But we're going to look at the interactivity. So what you can do is we can add a form here. So I'm going to go back here to our forms. I'm going to pull up the Henry and Mudge. I am going to click share. Anyone can respond. I'm going to copy that. This link is ready for you to copy. Great. Oh, the link is ready for you to paste. Okay, now we're set. Let me make sure I did that. Okay, so then we're going to go back here, and I can paste the URL here and name your form, and we'll call this the Henry and Mudge test. Now I can pick where to put this. So this video is 8 minutes and 32 seconds. So I'm going to put it on the timeline then. Oh, let's see if right now, let's see if I'm going to put it, let's see if I can move it forward to about 8:20, maybe 8:30, right towards the end. So I'm going to put it at 8:29 and I'm going to add it to our timeline. So what's going to happen is, say I'm going to put it here, try and get you pretty close. So we're going to listen to this. And now our quiz pops up. And so the students take the quiz and then they continue with the video.
The end. I hope you enjoyed it.
And that's
Hi,
how
today
you
I'm
can embed and have a nice little enclosed lesson all in one spot. So you can have the video and then you can have them answer the questions afterwards. You can embed it anywhere. If I wanted to break up this big long video, show a little bit of it, put the form in, and then keep going, I could do that too. I'm going to bounce back, make sure we have no questions. Okay, I think I see a couple here. Can you please tell me how to add a section in forms? I will show you that right now. So if we go back to our forms, and let me go back to trees just because it'll be easy. When you go down here to add new, you have the choice to add a section. So now you'll give your section, maybe we're not going to talk about trees anymore, but we're going to talk about plants or food for the trees. And then you can add a description, and then from here you can start adding your questions. So again, if you click add new, it's under here under this arrow for more types of questions. There's your section. If we go, let's see what else. Actually, when you add a question, look at the, oh, there they are. Someone answered it. Perfect. Are there any other questions at this time? Please type them in. You can come off. While people are thinking of questions, I'm going to pop over here back to our presentation, and I want to show you some resources I put together for you. So if you are part of the Microsoft Education Center, here is your code. What I'm going to do is come out of this. Now this is not part of your credits for today. This is something from Microsoft, and I'll show you what it is. Oh, yep, there we go. Oh, I was there. I clicked too quickly. Here we go. So what it is there's your code. If you go to the Microsoft Education Center, it is a free resource for teachers. All you need to do is create a profile, and then under your profile, see Redeem Achievement Code. Once you take 2 hours of coursework, or the equivalent of 1,000 points, each hour is worth 500 points. So it's a little, doesn't sound, it's not as scary as it sounds. You will be issued your Microsoft Innovative Educator Badge. So it's just something that Microsoft loves to reward educators with. How I like to use this is I go under courses, and then I can type up exactly what I'm looking for. So if you want something on remote learning, or you want something on Teams, I can type in Teams and it will give me all the courses on Teams. So they're all on demand. They're all at your leisure. So it's just a great way, a great resource. I have found it really helpful with myself learning Microsoft products. So that is there. That is a free resource to you. And then in our PowerPoint, I have a OneNote that I've built of resources. So this, because I don't work with your district every day, I'm going to give you the whole resource and not just the, I'm going to copy the link into in here as well. And this is for you. I'm going to give you the whole binder, the whole OneNote. And then, but you will see down here, I I thought I moved forms up to the top so y'all could see it. There's a lot in here. So Microsoft Forms. So in here in Forms, you have a bunch of resources for you. Sorry, it's just taking a second to load. But there's some demo videos, there's some training videos, there's some quick start guides. I have a link to this site, Forms Help and Learning by Microsoft. So I'm leaving you with a lot of great resources. Hopefully that will load and you can see it. We'll come back to that later. Oh, here we go. So how to create a form, step-by-step directions. I have a couple different demo videos for you. If you need some more afterwards, here's a quick start guide. So a lot of different things that are here for you to help you with the process. So those two links are there, and then the Microsoft Learning, and then here's my email address. I will put that in there as well. Feel free to reach out to me with any questions you may have. Heather is an amazing resource, so please, you know, she's awesome. You're lucky to have her. The attendance report, see, like I said, Heather's awesome. If you don't know where the attendance reports are, I am going to show you right now. So we're going to do that before this meeting ends. I went under people and download attendance report. So that is going to create, I should be getting a download any second. My poor internet, I don't know what happened. So that should be loading. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to try and get out of there one more time. All right, I don't know why that's not downloading, but we'll keep trying that. Let me bounce back for questions. You are welcome. I'm always that way too. I have questions when I start working with something. So when I start playing around, that's when all my questions come out. That's why I love to leave everybody with tons of resources. And again, Microsoft is so good about the help. So always check that out. I'm going to try this one more time and let's see if we can get that attendance report to work. There we go. Now we're, oh, that was permissions, wrong one. That's your permissions for setting up who can come in and out. Let's try, well, we know it's working now. You know what? I'm listed as a presenter. That's why it's not working. Hang on. Let me see. Let me get, oh, I don't mean to keep doing that. Keep clicking too far off the page. I'm so sorry if I'm driving you crazy with that. Okay, I am listed as a presenter. I am not the one who organized it, so it is not letting me download it. Heather, are you listed as the organizer? And if you are still on this call, can you download that? I don't know.
I don't know if Heather's still on it. I think she just popped in and she might have popped off.
Okay. Let's see if I can do this.
Maybe Messenger.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Thank you. Okay, so do you want to talk about the survey, why I message Heather?
Sure. So if you can just click that link to complete a survey about today's training, it'll just give us feedback. You can let us know what you think and if there are some additional trainings that you'd like to do. Also on this call, I think Simona may have joined. I don't know if she's still on the call, but she's our point of contact. And you can always reach out to her as well to tell her what other types of topics you'd like to go over. But the link that is provided in the chat will help us just get better with all of this. So if you can take some time to do it, that would be awesome.
All right, I'm going to just see if this will play nice one more time. I'm going to stop presenting for a second and see if I can get this to work. Maybe, it did it. There, I will tell her I got it. All right, I don't know, maybe just shutting off the helped. So that downloaded the attendance report, awesome. I'm gonna just Yep, there it is, spectacular. I'm gonna bop back to the chat and see if anyone needs anything before I will stay on for a while. And we did so good covering everything. If there's anything you'd like me to show you again, anything you have extra questions on, please let me know and I will be happy to show you something. Otherwise, well, I'll stay on for a little bit. You didn't see the report. Oh, you want to see the attendance report? I can show you that. And you can see what they look like. So when you go in here, if I go in here to my downloads, well, I can go to, let's see if it'll do it here. Is that here from, I have to go to my downloads. So who's saying they didn't see? Okay, so if I go here, let me show you, I'll show you the attendance reports. So if I go here, if I click download, now see when I'm sharing, it won't let me do that. Isn't that funny? Learning something new myself today. So if I'm not sharing, it lets me download the attendance report. And it was downloaded. And I will get that out to Heather. So yeah, I'll see if I can pull that up in my downloads. So, all right, I don't want to drive everybody crazy with that, but just know it worked. And for whatever, okay. Thanks for, all right, didn't see the report. Just need a bigger, okay. All right, so I'm going to stop recording now, but I will stay on